Happy Sunday, folks. Good morning and welcome to a slightly cool but slightly humid, slightly too sunny Sunday in New York. I have a couple of things on my agenda. I wrote them all out. I don't know if we're going to follow this agenda, but it's a varied bag of boring shit today. I'm a little tired, didn't sleep too much last night. We're gonna clean off that counter, and the first point of order is to finish making dumplings with the pork filling. I'm gonna fridge it for now because it's fully defrosted, and I made some dumpling dough yesterday. Hi New Zealand, hi India. And we can roll out some and just assemble whatever dumplings we can out of the filling that we already have on hand. My business trip with Broth and Barrel is taking place in 9 days. So I'm gonna try to get ahead on some food prep for Grandma so that after I come back from the trip, I don't have to worry about, does she have food that I can bring to her right away? I'm still kind of worried about how Grandma will react while I'm away for the trip, but we won't know till we know, and I think it's been almost 2 years since Mom has passed away, and it's been almost 2 years since I've been the only person pretty consistently looking after Grandma, aside from the nurses at her facility, God bless them, and I think it's just time for me to see if I can do stuff with my life apart from Grandma that doesn't require me to put on hold all the other things in my life. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm also going to be cooking some oats. So one thing at a time. I also have this, I don't know how you pronounce this, but it's basically like a very salty yogurt drink. And I've been drinking it, but it's also pretty salty. It's pretty tart. I'm either gonna cook oats or I'm gonna cook lentils. Maybe you guys can tell me which one you would prefer me cook. But let's take care of dumplings first, and I'm gonna clean off the counter so that we can roll dough straight on there. Thank you for keeping an eye on lentils. I appreciate that. So kind. How's everyone's Sunday so far? I mean, I know for sure Grandma will be fine while I'm away, on the off chance that she hits some serious health issues and actually dies on my trip. I feel like it's slim to none because she is a hardy girl. But I'm mostly concerned for her mentality, for her stability. She's often thought that I was dead because I was late to visiting her, or that I missed one day. That time that I got COVID and couldn't see her, she thought I was dead. So she just tends to make up a lot of shit in her head due to anxiety. I don't blame her for it, but it can be quite difficult to handle because, if you deal with anxiety, you know that just because I tell you something's fine doesn't mean you're going to believe that something's fine. And so with Grandma being the age that she is, it gets even more difficult to make her understand that everything's okay. It's almost like communicating with a pet who doesn't speak your language, and in a lot of ways, I feel like Grandma's reality isn't my reality, and in a lot of ways, kind of like talking to another species sometimes. I don't think writing her a note will do anything because she's going to forget where I put the note. She's going to forget who wrote the note. She's going to refuse to believe that I wrote the note. She's written stuff in her own notebook before that she's insisted was left by my mom. Clearly it's in Grandma's handwriting, and unless we've had some really spiritual breakthrough paranormal activities where Mom actually channeled herself through Grandma's hand to write me a message, I doubt it. We're just going to take it day by day. I figured, you know, I have to try sooner or later to resume living my life the way as best as I can without completely neglecting her, but realizing that at some point I have to start neglecting her to not neglect myself. It's like anything else in life, right? It's all a series of trade-offs. And I think in the beginning I wasn't quite ready to make this trade-off, but now I feel a little bit more ready to, and so I've been trying to do a better job since Mom's death of listening to my gut. And I won't say it's always been the right thing, but I also don't think that my gut has led me astray. I think more likely than not, I'm actually still in the process of learning what my gut is telling me, because I think for most of my life I've learned to ignore listening to my gut and taking a hint, a direction from my instincts. And so now I have to relearn it. And it's not a skill that I can just possess immediately. So it's a process, and I do think I am learning. I just can't really rush anything. It doesn't help. Got some apples from the farmer's market. I see some pink ladies. I see maybe Empire. Let's eat that one. I feel a little bit of a little soft spot in there. Maybe a couple of gold rushes. So that's fun. I can't imagine being a full-time carer for someone. I hope you are remembering to take care of yourself too. Thank you for that reminder. There's a little soft spot here. You can see that dent. So we're gonna eat this one first today. Put the rest of it in the fridge. Listen, I can try to FaceTime her, but I can't promise anything, you know? It's just like, is the nursing staff going to be present at the time that I have access to internet? This is a work trip, it's not a leisurely trip. I don't know how my internet connection is going to be. There's a lot of factors, and everything that you're telling me I probably have already thought about, so I appreciate it, but also all I can do is try to prepare as best as I can and then do it, and then see what happens. Okay. It's 11:11. Make a wish, y'all. Whew. It's getting a little hot in here. All right. You ready for dumpling boredom again? Same shit. Every time. But yeah, drop in the chat anything you would like to talk about, anything you would like to share. It's going to be pretty hands-off from me today in terms of hosting the live as I'm rolling out the dumplings, but I can always talk. My mouth never stops. The biggest thing as a carade, Josie says, is there is no right way, only doable. Grandma liked the pack of dumplings, I think. I've been doing the last 2 batches of dumpling dough without the assistance of cornstarch because I've run out of cornstarch and I just, for some reason, haven't bought it. And I've discovered that without cornstarch in this dough, it is much, 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 much harder to roll out. So I highly recommend that you want to use cornstarch in your recipe as per my original instructions because it just makes the dough way easier to work with. You just got married to Tyler, the creator of my daughter's Tomodachi Life game. I have no idea what any of that means. I hope it was consensual in that platform between the 2 of us. I'm not sure if I'm exciting enough for him, but okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. How long are we going to be married for? Is that determined too? Who chose who in this game? Who proposed? It's also kind of hot and sunny here today, yes. If you stick around long enough after dumplings are made, I can show you a new hat that I bought, and I want to seek your opinion on whether or not I should destroy it to make a hole for where my high ponytail could come through at the top of the hat. I feel like I shouldn't destroy it, but I also feel like the chances of me wearing this hat on a regular basis is pretty low, and I truly just bought it almost as an impulse buy. I was looking for a hat to wear on the sourcing trip, but I think this one is not very functional for that reason. But I bought it because it's just so cute. You'll have to see it later. I'm sorry to clickbait you right now or audio bait you right now, but that's the way it goes. I guess it's my live and I can do whatever I want. You should make a June sim. You know what? In fact, for anyone who plays simulated reality games, I highly encourage you to make a character out of me if you want, and to keep me updated on what my various virtual selves are doing. I want to take some inspirations from their life choices and maybe implement them into mine. I feel like the AI really know what the best thing to do now is, you know? So. Oh, Sabiha, I'm so glad to hear that. I think when I first started these lives, I used to be really embarrassed by them. I was like, who the fuck gives a shit what I think? And honestly, I still am embarrassed by some of these. But I also feel like doing these lives over 2 years, 2.5 years now, have really, ironically, shaped the way that I've developed as a person. It's really weird to be interacting with strangers on the internet. And it's really, 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 really weird to have recordings of yourself forever. It feels unnatural and embarrassing, and I say stupid shit sometimes. I have volatile reactions sometimes, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, socially. I have rants that I probably shouldn't put out on the internet, but at this point, I don't know what we should be doing in our lives anymore. So it is nice for me to hear random comments about how these lives actually help people, because I do get quite a bit of comments that say, hey, your lives are really, really, really depressing and worsening my anxiety. And so you win some, you lose some. And what I've learned too is not everything that you make in life can be for everyone, and you simply have to decide for yourself if it's something that makes you happy, which is why I don't go live as often as I used to before, because one, I have more things going on in my life now, and sometimes I realize that if I'm feeling mentally ill, which has been happening with increasing frequency lately, probably because Mom's death anniversary is coming up, that sometimes I just need to take time to be on my own and think through things. But like I said earlier, it's all a learning curve. I've learned that sometimes going live helps with my mental health, and sometimes being quiet on my own, either in my bed, curled up in a fetal position, falling asleep, or, you know, in front of my computer just zoning out, eating snacks, even though it can become an unhealthy habit, is exactly what I am capable of doing in the moment, and the only thing that I probably need to do in the moment. Like someone said earlier in the chat regarding elderly care, it's really just about what is doable sometimes. And I think that applies to a lot of things in life. Yeah, totally. I've learned that I can't please everyone, and I really hate the idea that I'm putting content out there that hurt people, but I also have to recognize that what hurts someone might actually help another, and I have to leave the responsibility up to the viewer for themselves to gauge what they want to engage in and what they don't want to engage in. I don't think at the end of the day it's my responsibility as someone who puts out content to be babying people. I think that puts a lot of onus on me to decide like the right appropriate content to put out into the internet, and it's kind of like how every parent parents differently, and maybe you should just keep it to yourself what you think other parents should do, unless you're seeing kids being abused, then like, yeah, don't stay silent. But the world is complicated. Are you saying that these lives help you cope with life in a way? Yeah, totally. I think they've helped me cope a lot. I think that was most evident when my mom passed away, and I was using these lives as a way to do what I had to do to figure out Mom's paperwork and house clean out without being completely alone. And the amount of support that came through from viewers, not just of these lives, but of Budget Eats, people who follow me on Instagram, was quite astounding. I had never expected strangers on the internet to like jump out of the screen into my real life and offer me rides and to haul shit back and forth between Mom's house and my apartment, and to offer me advice about how to handle someone close to you dying, how to handle checking in on their social security closures, checking in on death certificates, making sure to order multiple copies of death certificates for various filing paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork with death. A lot of paperwork, a lot of taxes, a lot of really shitty shit that you really don't want to deal with right after learning that your mom died, but the internet kind of pulled through. And the rest is history. We begin with dumplings. Come closer. First dumpling of the day. Beautifully, not too wet dough. Sealed. I'm gonna put some of these dumpling rolling parchment papers down so that they don't get stuck to the cake tin as they freeze. I reuse my parchment paper, yes. That is what I do. I feel like a friend that you care about. That's lovely. You're gonna make chicken momos tomorrow? That's awesome. Citric acid will absolutely work, but it is much more potent than lemon, just so you know. Okay, guys, I have learned one huge lesson from this dumpling filling, which is if you put zucchini in here and you freeze it and defrost it several times, it's gonna be hella watery, and it's gonna make sealing your dumplings impossible. Maybe don't use so much zucchini, or don't freeze your filling, because every time you're destroying cell structures, which kind of punctures the cell walls, and it just makes everything so much harder than it has to be. I'm gonna give you some context clues regarding what I'm making. I feel like you've seen this enough times to know what I'm doing. Yeah, raccoon feasts, exactly. That's exactly what my diet is mostly composed of. I'm glad we can come across a term that aptly describes how I eat. Precisely, you know me too well. For those of you who saw the Lidl grocery haul video, have you noticed any particular element being different from my previous videos? Maybe the best comparison is with H Mart haul. And was it a good change or a bad change? I'm just looking for your thoughts about the video and what you liked and didn't like, or what you wanted to see more of, so that, you know, I can put it into my brain bank for the next time I make a video, and then I can think back to all the comments that I got. Not to say that I will incorporate all of your feedback, but I think it's also just nice to consider them and know them. So let me know. Oh, I just realized my comments froze. The editing seemed experimental. You kind of liked it. Interesting. You didn't see her reaction to the store-bought dumplings? I mean, what you saw is what I saw, so if you watch the video, that was her critique. How many different things you can make from such few items. I mean, was it really few items in your opinion? I felt like I bought a shit ton of stuff. But I understand what you mean. I think that's what people liked about Budget Eats, you know, is seeing variety in output with limitations regarding input of ingredients. So I totally get that. You're never late, Krishna. You made it while we're live. Many others will make it when we're not live, and they will still have made it. The shopping part was less chaotic in the Lidl video. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's what made Lidl video less attractive to viewers. I almost feel like people loved how chaotic the H Mart shopping segment was, but truly Lidl was not very exciting as a shopping experience. I was so disappointed with so many of the prices. So compared to H Mart, especially when H Mart was new and they kept having different kinds of discounts, it was an amazing place to shop. Now H Mart is so expensive, y'all. The greens are sometimes $5 a pound, which is like twice as high as my local Chinese stores. Hi, UK. The H Mart one has more of a June tries everything. Okay, interesting. Like a taste test element, you mean? Tasting or chising? When I go to Aldi, I only buy yogurt and chips for the most part. I don't really buy their other stuff. I find some Aldi's products very disappointing. Okay, so the overcharged mustard is my fault. Several viewers have pointed out that the sign actually only specified for the brown sugar mustard and not the whatever one Chipotle that I bought. So that was my bad, but it was a very misleading sign. I have not tried Oui, and I've also never heard of Oui. And apparently the sale prices at Lidl are just for their members only on the app. And I didn't download the app, so that was also a part of the reason why I didn't get their discount prices. That was probably why some of the prices were off between what I was charged for on the receipts and what they were displayed at in stores. What are some grocery stores you want to see me run? I mean, Trader Joe's is definitely on my list. And I feel like Trader Joe's would be more of a taste test. Yes, my friend Nez gave me this shirt. It is a wonderful shirt, indeed. Trader Joe's spices? I don't know if I will, because I have so much spices at home. I just can't add more spices to it. But I will tell you that people love the everything bagel seasoning. I have the ketchup seasoning. It's very fun and sweet and confusing. But I don't know if that's gonna be an episode, if I'm honest with ya. No, she didn't design it. She just got it off of an Instagram account, I think. An artist designed it and they were selling it. Yeah, Whole Foods is definitely still a thing. I think so, at least. What do y'all think? Is Whole Foods still a thing? We don't have Sprouts, not in New York City. That's more of a West Coast thing, I think. Farmers market, I would also love to do, yes. Obviously, we'll need a much bigger budget, but maybe we can work with a smaller budget to do the farmers market and see how that goes. Could be good, could be fun. I definitely don't have Heron Foods. Yeah, never seen that. But maybe one day, after Grandma dies, LOL, not LOL, I could travel and maybe do one of these videos in another town, country, and make it a traveling show. I mean, that's something that I would definitely love to do. So many places tell you where to eat when you're a tourist visiting a city, but very few places tell you where to shop and what the supermarkets look like. And I love supermarkets. When I travel, I love going to supermarkets to see what the prices are, what the offerings are, if there's anything that I've never seen before in my own life. Thank you for that comment. I currently don't have a P.O. box. I think if I can break 400,000 views on the Lidl, I might open a P.O. box to facilitate people sending me stuff from all around the world. But at this rate, I don't think the videos on my channel are doing well enough for me to warrant opening a P.O. box. It costs money and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad my videos are helping you become more open to eating different kinds of foods. I hope you're taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself in this time as you recover and try to recover, and know that depending on your experience and journey with it, there might be a lot of setbacks, and it might take much longer than you want it to take, than you anticipated taking, to feel comfortable with food again. I know certain days I still struggle with social eating and having that not be a part of my anxiety of the day, but know that with enough experience, it'll start to feel familiar, even if it's undesirable. And you'll start to get a better sense of knowledge about yourself, and most importantly, I think, and anyone with or without an eating disorder, I think, can do a better job of being kinder to themselves. I think our society has made it very hard for us to feel good about ourselves, and so anytime you can feel good about yourself is a victory. I do need a P.O. box just so you can send me digestives, but then Holly, it will just be like me eating digestives nonstop for the rest of my life, you know? I would love to be hosted by y'all when I travel. Within the US, outside of the US. I've had folks in Thailand offer to take me on food tours when I visit. So I'm sure once I'm free of grandma duties, whenever that may be, I hope, I hope that I won't have been canceled by the internet, and I hope that I'll still have a viewership and an audience who would be glad to show me their towns, their countries, their culture, maybe share a little bit of their story if they want to. I think everyone wants to share something different, and it would be so cool. So fucking cool, guys. I think for a long time, I've been thinking about YouTube videos. I remember at my very last restaurant job that I left in 2018 before I joined Delish in March of that year, I had been joking with my pastry chef about how we have so many cool, weird, quirky personalities in the kitchen that we should all have a YouTube channel together, and then all of us separately could have different segments and series on the channel. And I said it mostly as a joke because, like, honestly, who has time to do that when you're a line cook and already wasted in terms of energy at the end of the time, and also wasted physically, intoxicatingly, if you're one of those people who can still go out to party after your shift, your insanely exhausting shift is over. But now I have a YouTube channel and I can do stuff. So I guess in a way, some of my life's dreams have come true. Pretty amazing. Gummy sharks? What are gummy sharks? That sounds fun. KCS, thank you so much. Yes. Damn, Island Girl. Our mom passed away in the same year. How you doing in terms of your grief process? Is it better? Is it better or worse than you expected it to be 2 years after mom dying? I think I'm doing way better than I expected. And I'm really thankful for that. Thank you, Karen, for your kind words. Yeah, I don't realize. I remember when I was at Delish and they were talking us through making content during the pandemic, and I was like, yo, I don't know if I should be teaching people how to cook. Like, I literally am so disorganized and unprofessional with putting together recipes sometimes. I think I'm gonna lead people astray. And Julia, God bless her soul, was so encouraging, and she was like, you may not think you're an authority, but to everyone else who has less experience than you do, you are an authority and you do have a lot to teach. And she basically was like cheering me on to do video production in my own kitchen with my own self, drawing on my raccoon knowledge. So shout out to all the people in our lives who support us in various ways and make us believe in ourselves a little bit more, because there certainly is a lot of making you disbelieve in yourself these days, huh? It's a type of real shark? Holy shit. Yo, Australia does not play around. This filling is so wet. So wet. Sorry, that was a burp. I cannot close it. Yes, the B&B ads. Yes, about those ads. Which ad did you get from B&B? I'm very curious. And how could you tell I filmed it? Did my tattoo give it away? No, my uncle cannot come for a couple of weeks. It's really nice to stay in touch with my former coworkers. I did spend a lot of my life in that test kitchen, and it's nice to feel like people still want to keep in touch with me after everything that happened, because it gives me a sense of separation of work, identity, and the connections that you make through work. They're not always one and the same in terms of quality. I think a lot of us can commiserate with the kind of workplace that Hearst is. I have some family friends, but I'm not going to ask them to help me relieve grandma duties. It's just not something that I can ask someone to do for me. It's too big of an ask. It's not their responsibility. I don't really want to do collabs. I find that the collab videos that happen can be very stilted, especially if I'm not actually friends with them and I'm just doing them for a collab video. I also don't think I'm on the same caliber as the people that you've named, but I understand your desire to see me collaborate with them. I just don't think it's feasible for me. Yo, representation to all of those who have to quote unquote scrape by. You know, there's a lot of people who have to scrape by in the US. And I think traditional food media doesn't talk about shit like this. They just create aspirational material. And all of those are really essentially ads to make us feel bad about who we are and who we aren't. Representations of unachievable levels of perfection and beautification that is unrealistic. Yes, the fundamentals box. Right. I remember filming that. I'm gonna take a break before rolling out the last bit of dumplings. You choose. Do you want me to show you a book? Or do you want me to show you my hat? Or should we start cooking lentils or oatmeal? I know that's a lot of choices. Or should we talk about underwear? You can choose from a lot of things. I intend to do all of these things today. I ordered a hat off of eBay. It's a used hat, so technically I guess you can call it a thrift hat. But wow, okay, split votes. You got a money-saving cookbook and it said buy a whole salmon. I think you are more likely to go fish for a whole salmon. Hat, lentils, underwear. In that order, Julie? I'm gonna roll out some dough really quickly. While other votes roll in, I will extend voting by 1 minute. But hat, I think, is leading the pack for sure. Karen, we will do all of the things. We're just deciding which one we want to do next. Hat, undies, book. Okay. Hat wins for next up. And then we can discuss underwear. Okay, so here we go. That's the hat. It's It's a bucket hat. She's kind of cute. But I also don't like wearing hats. Now, I wanted this to like give me sun coverage in Mexico. I don't know if it will be great, but it's cute. Okay, so the thing is, right now it's barely fitting my head because I have my hair down-ish. But when I have my hair up in a ponytail, it blocks the hat from actually settling securely onto my head. And so I've been thinking, how weird would it be and how much of ruining this hat would I do if I ripped apart the seam to let through a little hole to pull my hair through, like my ponytail through. That's what I've been thinking. Paddington and Totoro. Okay, that's funny. Kind of like the thing on a baseball hat, except I wear my ponies a little bit higher, so it would come out more towards the top of the hat rather than the base of the hat. Great in theory, sucks in practice. In terms of making a hole, yeah, I know. I did not buy this hat as a very functional choice, and I knew it in my heart of hearts that I was just buying it because I loved how cute it was, and I knew in the moment that I bought it that I would not be wearing it as much because it's just not functional. Yeah, Josie, I completely agree. I don't think hats fit me, period. But especially if I amend it, I might make it worse. You blame men for bad hats? Yeah, they make everything for men. I guess I can see where that comment is coming from. It's hard to live in a world where the people making the decisions don't really understand how half the world works. Ooh, a visor, really? Okay, interesting. Never thought about it. I would say that my problem is my head is a little too big for the hat. Yeah, a witch hat would be nice. I would not be opposed to wearing a witch hat, actually. I really can't do baseball caps. I think here's the thing. My insecurity is that my head is too big. It's always been proportionally big to my body. I remember in high school where I was like severely underweight. I was basically almost the same height, but I weighed about almost 25 pounds lighter. Maybe more than 25 pounds lighter. And I remember one of my gym teachers going, "Your head is too big for your body." I mean, he said it in a way to encourage me to like maybe eat more, which I probably should have done in high school because I was severely disordered eating in high school. But that comment stuck with me, and I have to admit my head is a little bit too big, and hats kind of just accentuate the bigness of my head, and it is, I think, an insecurity for me. So I almost never wear hats. Baseball caps make your head look smaller. How does that work? Does it compress your head in? Interesting. Oh my god, Supernova, are you Chinese? Because my mom told me I dress like a homeless person too. She hated my style for a very long time. Also, the way Chinese parents give feedback, criticism, is so toxic sometimes because it passes on value judgments. Like, you look like a homeless person. And that not only makes you feel bad, but it's making you feel bad because it's playing off of this discrimination against homeless people. So it's like instilling fear in you, not only that like you have bad fashion by comparing you to someone who literally has no resources to buy themselves better clothes, but it also like kind of makes you think about the societal associations that we have with people who are homeless, you know? But damn, yeah, parents, you're not Chinese, but you had a very Chinese sounding mom. Adults really don't realize the damage they can do so easily to kids by saying what they say sometimes. Like, damn, guys. But it also makes me wonder, like, yo, what kind of shit did you grow up with that makes you think it's okay to say shit like this, you know? Like, clearly, you've had a period in your life where this behavior was modeled for you. I have like 4 dumplings worth. Should have rolled out a little more dough. You know, sometimes as part of the marginalized people, you play into the marginalization logic so that you can feel like you are separating yourself from it. It's so strange. It's so perverse. It's so sad. Honestly, it's a little bit tragic in that we don't default to compassion as a way of digging ourselves out of these cycles of shame and guilt, but rather we give into this impulse to like distance ourselves away from our identities, distance ourselves away from people who share that identity, and instead side with the more oppressing striations of society and make ourselves feel bad by way of internalizing those values of judgment regarding what's good, what's bad, what's valuable, what's worthless, and growing up is realizing a lot of the things that my parents said were problematic in American society, at least. Yes, Rachel, and I also think growing up still in my 30s, it's a really harsh reality facing how much of what my parents said when I grew up, I've internalized, and now I'm the problem. Having a big head is considered good luck by my tribe. Kay, Maya, may I ask what your tribe is? Yeah, I don't think our generation is having very many children compared to previous. Hello, Laguna Beach. As I roll out my final bit of dough, I will pose you the underwear question. Hi, Hong Kong. The underwear question is as follows. How much money do you guys spend on your underwear? And I'm only talking bottoms, not talking bras yet. I will get to bras. How much money do you spend on your underwear? And how long do they last you? Because I feel like sometimes I buy the expensive shit, and by expensive I mean like $3 to $5 a piece as opposed to $1 a piece from the discount store. Sometimes I feel like when I buy the expensive shit, it actually breaks down much faster than the cheap shit. And I'm so surprised at the lack of difference in quality between the two price points, you know? Cheap Costco underwear, okay, noted. You know, Mom left me some Costco gift cards, which means I can go into the Costco sometime. And I recently ordered the Victoria's Secret sale, but one of them has already started unraveling, and I've worn it like 4 times. 4 times. Welcome, Val. I'm glad you found this live too. Yeah, you live in China? RMB? Renminbi? Chinese underwear, for women at least, don't fit me. I was made to feel so fat when I lived in China in 2011 through 2012. I had to buy the largest size of underwear available for women, and some of them would start so tight around my thighs that it like basically cut off circulation, and I was like, holy shit. I'm a size small, sometimes medium, in the US, and here I'm like an XXL and it still doesn't fit me. It made me feel really bad. So fun fact, I always hand wash my underwear, whether or not they're pricey, because that's just what I did. Growing up with a mom who was germophobic, she hated the idea of putting our underwear together with outside clothes in the wash, even though technically, if you think about it, everything should be clean, right? But not for Mom. For Mom's brain, she had to separate out the undies from the more dirty clothes, and so I grew up hand washing my underwear. Now, I do feel like hand washing the underwear does cause like more wear and tear due to, you know, when I wash it by hand, I tend to go a little bit rougher with kind of like, you know, rubbing it the way you would laundry when you wash laundry by hand. I'm not sure how many of you who are watching this live right now ever wash clothes by hand, but LDR says you are tiny. Yeah, by American standards, I can be called tiny. I'm not supermodel skinny, but I feel like I'm definitely not fat. But in China, I was fat. Imagine that, right? So I also think growing up Chinese in America has contributed a lot to my body image disorder, issues, whatever you want to call it, because I think just culturally speaking, there's a lot of built-in fat phobia in East Asian culture. And it's just not considered a bad thing in Chinese culture to like constantly be restricting yourself in terms of food. And so American culture plays into restriction through specific industries, like diet industry, exercise industry, beauty industry, whatever, fashion industry, whatever. But it doesn't propose this as a lifestyle that's healthy. America gives you very conflicting messages regarding body image, I would say. It tries to sell you skinny without selling you skinny. It tries to sell you self-love by selling you self-lack. Chinese culture is just like, yo, you're fat. Like, are you okay? I think you need to lose some weight. So, you know, on the one hand, I guess Chinese culture is a lot more direct in terms of its judgment, and the US is a lot more convoluted, confusing, contradictory, and capitalistic in a lot of ways. Because what better way to make more profit off of people by selling them two contradictory messages, right? I don't know anything about Chinese social media, so I have no idea what's going on there, and I think that's probably for the best. But if you want to enlighten us on what happens on Xiaohongshu, yes, I think I've revealed all of my tattoos in a video. Okay, we have completed our dumpling dough for now. We've got a couple of leaky ones, but this is enough for 1, 2, 3. This is probably enough for a week for Grandma, so kudos to me for doing that today. I'm gonna freeze the rest of the dough for our future making sesh. And now we will eat something after we clean up a little bit. I'm gonna put you back here so that I don't splash water on you accidentally. Do you guys want to vote? Should we make oats today or should we make lentils today? Vote as I do my dishes. Oh, lentils, okay. Wow. Steel cut oats. Technically, we could do oats and lentils together. Do you want me to cook oats and lentils together? It's red lentils. Yes, red lentils. In one pot. We would do it in one pot. All right. I think we are solidly in the lentils camp here. Have a great day. Bye, Jessica. There's so many ways to spell doll. I think it's just a transliteration, so you can spell it however you want. It's going to be pronounced basically the same way anyway. So we're gonna make super garlicky lentils with a little bit of that salty yogurt mixed in at the end. I'm gonna keep it pretty basic. Okay. I feel like different cultures spell doll differently too. I've seen so many different spellings. The most common one that I've met is D-A-A-L. But, you know. I'm gonna keep some of this lentil water to water my plants with, I think. Oh, I will eat all of these lentils in less than 2 days. I promise you. I am a huge lentil eater. And especially if I have no social life and I can fart as much as I want. Then I'll save it for those days. Aaron's doing well. You can follow him on Instagram. He posts quite regularly. I do have coconut milk, but I'm going to be putting in that yogurt drink at the end. So I'm not going to be adding salt, and I'm not going to be adding any sort of other creamy dairiness besides a little bit of olive oil to get us started in the beginning with the garlic. I mean, yes, you are part of my social life, but even if you hear me fart, you won't really get to experience the pain of smelling it, you know? So it's not really the same level of torture that I would be subjecting you to. How is Freddie? Freddie is good. Freddie is having a lovely time with Aaron. Oh, shit, y'all. I have chicken stock. I should use that here. I should use my chicken stock. You know? Probably should have defrosted this sooner. Okay, let me turn the heat off on that. Let's peel some garlic first. Sorry, I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep. My thoughts are discombobulated. You made your first mooncakes. Wow, with my recipe? I feel like there are way better recipes on the internet. How did it turn out? Holly, well, you should eat. How do I defrost it? Normally I would pull it overnight to defrost in the fridge, but it's a little too late for that method. So what I'm gonna be doing is putting it into a bowl of water. hopefully one that is deep enough to allow me to cover it. Too much citrus to your stewy veggies? Add sugar. I'm not sure how freezing garlic changes the flavor. I've known some folks on this live to recommend that I freeze it, but I haven't tried it yet. Can't really say. My hands will smell like garlic forever now. I tend to not want to freeze veggies until they're cooked. Like, you know, I would buy the bags of frozen peas, corn, and carrot mixes, and the carrots would always taste so awful in those mixes, but the peas and the corn freeze fine. So they probably have a little bit less water content than the carrots. But yeah, anything with a lot of water content, anything that you rely on to retain its structure, can take that into consideration before you freeze. I kind of want to make my own, so much garlic on my hands. I kind of want to make my own mooncakes, especially now that I maybe might have time to make it, but we'll see. When is Mid-Autumn Festival this year? Does anybody know the date? September might be too busy. September 29th. Oh, wow, okay. That's fascinating, Karen. Why do you store your fresh ginger in apple cider vinegar? All right. We're starting with a little bit of olive oil. For the garlic. I will season the garlic a little bit with salt because I feel like garlic tastes way better with salt. Cooked together. And now I think as the garlic cooks, I can start gathering some spices I would like to put in here. I'm still trying to work through some of my fennel seeds, old stuff that I have that I want to use up. I really do want to clean out this white pepper jar from Mom. I hope you can witness this with me on the live today so I can feel a little bit less lonely, but I'll use Aaron's cool spoon that he got me. Look at that. But we're basically going to scrape out all of the white pepper, and we're going to try to soak the label off of this jar and repurpose it, hopefully, for a while. But this is the last of Mom's white pepper, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Feels sad, but also feels like it's time. I don't feel like looking at this jar forever and ever and ever. Some nigella. A lot of nigella. Yeah, my mom's spices are literally part of me now, indeed. All right. Goodbye. Let's see what else. I think a little bit of coriander seed. A little bit of fennel seed. This is a sample that I got from the Fancy Food Show. It's another spice company called Rumi. This is their wild black cumin ground. It's apparently also grown in Afghanistan. I thought it would be fun to contrast this with burlap and barrels. Smells good. And I think finally maybe a little bit of turmeric. Smells good. Smells really good right now. Hell yeah. I don't think I have a thought process. I think I'm just deciding to do it because I have these spices in front of me. But tell me more about this Punch Fodan spice blend. I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly at all. I don't think I own a masala stone, so no, I haven't. But I bet you I would love it. That's one thing somebody could send me. It's a mortar and pestle. Okay guys, so we've kind of done dishes, we've done dumplings, we've eaten snacks, I'll eat more. I've shown you the hat, we've talked about underwear. And okay, we're making our lentils, and I can either show you a book or we can talk about bras. Which of those do you want? I'm still waiting for my chicken stock to defrost, honestly, so. Okay. I do think women, ladies, girls, whoever you are with boobs, let's talk about bras. I do want to know what our thoughts are on about bras. I don't think I own any wired bras that actually fit me. My boobs are pretty not perky and not that big. So I feel like most training bras or bralettes, or like I have these cotton, are they like Fruit of the Loom or Hanes? But I've basically been wearing these like very simple, mostly cotton sports bra, training bra type things for my life, my entire life. I've also bought more expensive sports bras, but they tend to compress me in so much that they make me feel like I can't breathe. And even though they provide me with more support, I don't feel very supported in that I can't breathe. So I just want to hear your thoughts on what kind of bras you wear, if you wear bras, at what point you realize you don't like bras, if there's a brand that you like, what price point is good for you, what kind of construction or style or cut or fit is good. Just basically what you've learned about bras throughout your lifetime. Oh, 5 spice. It means 5 spice. Interesting. Cool. Fennel, nigella seeds, cumin, mustard seeds, fenugreek. I have fenugreek too. I've read The Man Called Ove. I don't think I liked it very much. Uniqlo's cotton bra. Okay. You just discovered a brand called Warner. No wires, got them on sale, quite comfy. Yeah, I feel like my boobs are gonna, they already kind of are saggy in my 30s. They're just gonna sag more. What kind of sports bras do you guys like? I'm gonna look up Warner bras. Okay, interesting. Some of these do look like they have wiring, but some of them look like they don't have wiring. The price point, oh, I see, you can't even buy it on their website. They retail at Kohl's, Macy's, JCPenney, Amazon, and other retailers. I see. On Amazon, they're $20. That looks pretty similar to the bralettes that I wear before they lose support forever. My chicken stock is definitely not going to defrost on time. Let's see if we can start dumping out some. All I need is for it to like release itself from the jar enough. But maybe we can't even have that yet. Nice good amount of schmaltz in here too, to really make this a tasty, tasty thing. All right, I'm gonna microwave it. Has anyone ordered Pepper bras. I feel like Pepper has been trying to sell me bras on Instagram for such a long time. Yes, the lentils did just 10x in volume. That's what happens. "30 seconds in the microwave did the trick." Nice. We probably have like a 1/4 cup of chicken fat in here on top of the olive oil. This is gonna be a delicious pot of lentils. Yes, homemade stock. It's been in the freezer for a very long time. It's been in there since May 24th. Guys, this is 3-month-old frozen chicken stock. I'm so glad that I'm using it today. Honestly, I keep saving shit thinking, oh yeah, one day this will come in handy, but you know what? Nah. It'll come in handy now. Use it. Now. All right, while our chicken stock melts, let's see if we can eat some stuff. By which I mean, let's see if I could eat some stuff. Yeah, that pot is definitely way too small. I always do this. It's no longer a mistake. Let's eat our green bell pepper egg salad, but also let's put some beans in there. These are pre-cooked chickpea and black-eyed pea beans, and then we can also cut in some of our beet pickled eggs in there now, too. Okay, while I do this, we have talked about bras. I can cross that out. I was gonna cook sweet potatoes, but we're not doing that anymore. Of course I hoard food. That's what I do. What would I do if I don't hoard food? I wouldn't be me anymore, would I? These questions make me think you don't know me at all. Just draining some of my bean juice. splattered bean juice, or rather beet juice all over my laptop. We're good, we're good. We'll also add some beets to the beet egg. Yes, it is the eggs and peppers I made on Friday, precisely. I love my students who pay attention. Let's take a bite through our pickled beet egg first. Yay for sugar. Mmm. Yum. Wow. I love pickled beets. I love mayo-based salads. Green bell peppers and garlic working magic in here. Bye, Malaysia. Okay, I'll show you the book. This is Alicia Kennedy's newly published book called No Meat Required. It is not a cookbook. It is explaining the cultural history and culinary future of plant-based eating. Alicia Kennedy is a writer who I've been following throughout the pandemic. Subscribe to her newsletter, From the Desk of Alicia Kennedy. She talks on a lot of topics, mostly revolving around food, sourcing, politics, identity, a lot of her process as a writer now, and just kind of updates of what she's cooking, what she's consuming in more ways than one. And so if you are interested, I'll read you the inner jacket. The vegan diet used to be associated only with eccentric hippies and tofu-loving activists who shop at co-ops and live on compounds. We've come a long way since then. Now, fine dining restaurants like 11 Madison Park cater to chic, upscale clientele with a plant-based menu, and Impossible Whoppers are available at Burger King. But can plant-based food keep its historical anti-capitalist energies if it goes mainstream? And does it need to? In No Meat Required, author Alicia Kennedy chronicles the fascinating history of plant-based eating in the United States, from the early experiments in tempeh production undertaken by the farm commune in the 70s and the vegan punk cafes and anarchist zines of the 90s, to the chefs and food writers seeking to decolonize vegetarian food today. Many people become vegans because they are concerned about the role capitalist food systems play in climate change, inequality, white supremacy, cruelty towards animals, and environmental and cultural degradation. But a world in which Walmart sells frozen vegan pizzas and non-dairy pints of ice cream are available at gas stations raises distinct questions about the meanings and goals of plant-based eating. Kennedy, a vegetarian, former vegan, and once proprietor of a vegan bakery, understands how to present this history with sympathy, knowledge, and humor. Note Me Required brings much needed depth and context to our understanding of vegan and vegetarian cuisine and makes a passionate argument for retaining its radical heart. And there's Alicia. And she is originally from Long Island, New York, now living in Puerto Rico, and she writes a lot and teaches too. I have not made like proper kimchi before, but I've made some of my trashy kimchi mimicries. But if you guys are interested, this is getting picked up a lot in book reviews and book launches, but if you've ever thought about environmental impact and history of how we eat, could be a fun read. I haven't really read past page 3 yet, but hopefully I will. I'm just gonna be watching this cook for the foreseeable future. My phone is at 25% battery, so I feel like most of my content today has been relayed. I'm just gonna be chilling and eating, and you're welcome to stay on, but for the most part, even my most intense lollygagging today is over. This smells very good with the chicken stock. Yum. Smells so good. Chicken stock, best broth ever. Brings so much umami to the game. A lot of indie booksellers and major retailers like Amazon carry the book now. I got this copy from Alicia's publisher, sending it to the Burlap and Barrel team, and each of us who wanted one got one. So I was very lucky in that I didn't pay for it, but you can definitely support your indie booksellers if you want to pay for it. It was literally published a week ago, so I feel like it might take a while for libraries to acquire. No meat required. So I think meat will be scarcer in the future. I think everything will be scarcer in the future. I think everything's going to shit. With the weather patterns we've been having, we will have to do a very quick pivot on the way we've been handling agriculture. We will have to figure out how to handle the changing seasons, the irregular seasons. We'll have to change the way we grow food, the way we eat food, the way we think about food. I don't think too much, because I don't think it matters what I think, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Mmm. Smells so good. Adrian, that's a very random question. No? Yes? No, yes? Yes, no? I think I need a second helping of these items in my life. More eggs, more beets. I think the government needs to provide us with more options rather than taking them away. It's not about how much control they have, it's about how much service they can provide. Right now, I feel like governments are punishers. I don't think government should be punishing people for existing, and I think that's what's wrong with our world. The way to utopia is not by instilling in people a sense of our way is right, your way is wrong. The way to utopia is to give everyone choice and to see which system wins over the other. But we don't really have a fair playing ground right now because we tend to snuff out things that don't make money, things that don't support capital. And so our governments have turned into machines of punishment. So far, the patterns of our world run on domination. Most revolutionary movements turn into domination and tyranny too. So I think the way we have encouraged all systems in existence to be in constant competition is not ever going to win. It's the same framework. So we have to change the framework and turn it less into competition and more into availability. Okay, I think our lentils are mostly done. And as soon as I finish this serving, I will scoop myself up of some lentil mush and then try it, tell you how good or not good it is, and then wish you goodbye for the day so I can go sit my ass down. 2 hours of sleep is not enough, y'all. You definitely didn't need me to tell you that, but it is not enough. brew myself some tea so I can survive the day on my miscalculation. I wouldn't say it's a miscalculation. I knew what I was getting myself into. I just keep repeating the same things over and over again in my life. Yes, everybody loves my shirt. Everybody thank Nez for giving me this shirt. Some people call it a tea if it's not tea leaves. Specifically, there are herbal teas. I make teas out of ginger root. So yes, I think absolutely. What kind of teas? This was a rose black tea from Harney & Sons. It has actual rose petals in it. It smells delicious and beautiful and calming and soothing. And it tastes like a slightly floral, slightly sweet black tea. So I'm into it. I think if you're into like rose flavored bubble tea, you would like that. You can turn the heat off on this lentil mush. It is fantastically mushy. It smells delightfully chicken fatty. It smells actually a little bit like KFC right now. You know how you sometimes peel off the skin on KFC's fried chicken and you smell it? Maybe I figured out the special spice blend for KFC's chicken. Although I don't remember what I put in that chicken stock. We could go back potentially to Alive in May to figure out what I put in that chicken stock. And then we could like reverse engineer KFC's chicken spice blend. But we won't, because I'm too lazy. I don't miss having Fred with me because I think he's happier with Aaron. I think I miss my life from that period a little bit. Nostalgic. I also got Fred before Mom died, so he symbolized a point in my life where I was still a kid with a mom. Fred sitting is mid-September. Okay. We're gonna spoon some of this into my bowl, and then we're gonna top it with the yogurt drink that's extremely salty. I'll try some of it plain first without the yogurt dilution, and then I'll give you a review of what it tastes like with the yogurt. It's so hot. We're gonna have to wait for it to cool. I'm going to ask Aaron to bring Fred here. I don't believe me staying at Aaron's place with Fred will be very good for me visiting Grandma, you know? So. Yes. Oh dear, indeed. I fear too what Fred might do to me if I can't sleep. I have that fear. Alright guys, we are nearing the end of this 2-hour live. And my comments are so behind. Okay. Still very hot. I'm pretty full. Yeah, the anti-anxiety drops did help him a bit, I think. Not entirely, but it calmed him down for a bit. Okay. I would say it's still too hot for me to actually taste what's going on, but there's a lot of chicken schmaltziness, which I think would benefit from the added acidity and salt from the yogurt drink, so let's go with that. It's a very loose yogurt drink. It's nowhere near as thick as like kefir, so. Almost turns this into a slurpable soup rather than a mushy mound. And hopefully this will cool it down a little bit as well. All right. Yum. Korean rice wine. There might be like a Chinese and Japanese version. Is it anything like amazake? I've tried to and failed making amazake before, but I love the flavor of fermented rice drinks. We're gonna pour this in there. All right, peeps, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for 2 hours of dumplings, snacking, bras, underwear, books, lentils, and random shit. I hope you have a good week ahead, and try not to go too crazy with reading the news and thinking about how the world is burning, and try to get more than 2 hours of sleep. Okay? Oh wow, I didn't say bye. Sorry, bye.